Hello, Pisces. Welcome and welcome back. We're going to do your November monthly reading, okay? And it's very interesting because I got a few channel messages for y'all, as I always do. If you didn't know, I actually have a specifically Pisces dedicated channel called Pisces Network. That actually is included in the Linktree link in the description box of this video and on my channel's main homepage. You can check that out. If you want to see more Pisces content, okay? But for those of you who already know about me, hey, hey, boo, hey, we're going to get into this reading, but it's so interesting because I usually do water signs last. And I decided, I don't know, for whatever reason, to film all of the water sign readings first. And even though you are usually the final zodiac sign, that's very interesting because Pisces is the final zodiac sign in the zodiac wheel before you get to the new beginning of Aries. And it's like, it just feels this energy of people always wanting you to come last, right? You always being at the bottom of the list, right? You could have a name, either first or last name, that could start with a letter of the alphabet that's very close to X, Y, or Z. Like you could have a name that your first initial of your last name is like some weird letter like fucking Q or P or S or T. And you always came last. Like they always called your name last because in alphabetical order you would be last and your zodiac sign is last. And it's like usually you come last. Maybe even you put yourself last. But I'm telling y'all, the sun has set on that bullshit. And the reason why I'm saying it is because actually, I'm filming this at nighttime and the sun is officially fully gone down. It is 8:00 p.m. and I still gotta go cook these doggone pork chops, child. But I'm cool. It's not bad because I'm really like fired up and I was ready to do water signs first because of all the water that's been in the energy lately. But it's definitely very synchronistic, coincidental that you guys are getting your reading filmed during the nighttime, first of all, and before a majority of the other zodiac signs. I feel like water signs in general, all of you, whether you're a Pisces, a Cancer, or a Scorpio, have finally allowed the sun to set on a time in your life where you put yourself last or where you accepted other people putting you last. And I'm telling y'all, it is ruffling some feathers. People are not happy about that. This could also be a situation where some of you, especially if you work in places like social media or like marketing or something, you could maybe even have a business. You could be in a position right now where your business or your content is actually showing up first in the search results, right? You could be at the top of the list now. This could be maybe even in competitive areas of your life that maybe involve like career or jobs. It's like you're being chosen first. Your resume is at the top of the list. You're being picked first. Like, I feel like these are all the things that you need to be aware of that are indicative and basically signs that a part of your life that has been going on for a long time is finally changing, okay? Something that's been happening for a really long time, the sun is finally set on those things, okay? So I hope this reading helps you guys. Be sure to like and subscribe to continue to catch the vibe. Also, be sure to subscribe to Pisces Network if you didn't know about that channel. I really appreciate you guys for being here and for all of your support. If you want to see any of my services, the link to my website is below. I offer more than just readings, so be sure to check that out. But make sure you guys, most importantly, use your own intuition. Even if you love and trust me, I appreciate that. But I would rather you use your own intuition to make decisions because like I tell Pisces over there, this is not a cult. It is a cult, but it's not a cult. And you don't have to just blindly agree with me. I don't have a problem with you disagreeing with me, but I also would prefer that it's respectful because, you know, if you don't come correct, you won't receive correct. Anyway, let's go ahead and get into it for you, Pisces. Good Lord. Guardian angels, archangels, spirit guides, and ancestors of the highest vibration, Father, Mother, God, for Pisces in the month of November, Spirit. Whether they're watching now or later, what is it that you want Pisces to know when it comes to November? What do they need to be aware of? What do you want them to be aware of, Spirit? Ooh, I feel somebody touching my back. Like my lower right side of my back. All right. Look into what that is, you guys, okay? What is the message for Pisces? Oh my God. Children. It's in reverse. The lower part of my back could be ovaries, could be, what is that, kidneys? Aren't your kidneys in the bottom of your back? Well, the point is, I'm not a doctor, lawyer, or psychologist. The disclaimer is below. Please seek the proper professionals for clarity on those questions, because I can't give it to you and I'm not liable. Okay. But children is here in reverse. There could be an issue with having children. Some of you guys could be struggling to have children. Some of you could be struggling with your children, child. Some of you guys could finally be evolving or transmuting energy from childhood trauma, and now it no longer affects you. But this is a situation that may or may not involve children. I don't know. It's reversed. We have fear. Yeah. And then we have luxury. Wow. So interesting. There is a fear that a lot of you guys have had for a long time about living a luxurious lifestyle, which could mean anything for you. It doesn't necessarily have to mean just money. Okay. This could be a childhood trauma that you face, or a fear that stemmed from your childhood, from your upbringing, from your financial situation when you were younger, from things that you witnessed with your parents, that created this level of fear, either about having children, having a family, being married, or maybe a fear of being independent, not having children, right? You know, deciding to be single, or even just a mindset of fear around luxury and self-sabotaging habits that may have developed when you were younger because you grew up in poverty and you had a fear of wealthy people, or you had a fear of, or maybe an intimidation of, you know, money and wealth and, you know, what that would mean, how you would be treated, you know, because you may have observed people who were wealthy in your childhood who were really raggedy ass people, or you could have observed people who were wealthy in your childhood who had it really rough and difficult. You were like, I don't want them type of problems. More money, more problems. Maybe you grew up in the 90s, child. Maybe you listen to Britney Spears talking about, ooh, she's so lucky. She's a star, but she cries. You get what I'm saying? Like little things that influenced you as a child. I feel like you're finally growing out of those fears, and you're starting to accept the type of lifestyle that you really want, and looking at the fears that you may have surrounding that lifestyle, even if it's not about money, that caused you to self-sabotage when it comes to achieving those goals. Deep. What else for Pisces when it comes to these messages today? We have good vibes now in the moment. Okay. So you only got one life to live. Okay. I've been telling Pisces that on the other channel as well. It's like, it doesn't matter how many past lives you want to say you lived, or, you know, how much you feel like your soul regenerates and there's reincarnation. Right now, you only got this life. That's the one that's most important because you live in it. So it kind of feels like there could be something specifically happening today. When you're watching this, it's not going to be November 1st anymore, but there could have been something happening on November 1st that maybe you want to look back on. Your texts, your conversations, the experiences that you had on that day, the photos that you took, the notes that you made in your phone, whatever you can look back on to kind of get a gauge of what was going on during that time, even if it was just a day ago or a few days ago. You might want to pay attention to it, because I feel like something about this is important, either with regards to your childhood, your children, or children that you may or may not want to have in the future. Okay. And the fear connected to it. Also, whenever you're watching this, the day that you're watching this, there could be some type of significance with this day as well. Spirit really wants you to live in the moment in November. They don't want you to think about the past too much. They don't want you to project too far into the future, because we know that we can do that. Okay. I might know you better than you know yourself, bitch. All right. They want you to stay in the moment. All right. That's what's important. We have longings. Scorpio, I almost said Sagittarius. I haven't filmed fire signs, but you may want to watch the Sagittarius reading because I said it. But I was trying to say Scorpio. Could be Sagittarius season, could be Scorpio season, could be a Sagittarius person, could be a Scorpio person. But Scorpio actually did get this card in their reading. It says, missing you. Let's talk. Reunion. Maybe, maybe not. Good idea, possibly a horrible one. Okay. Then we have intimacy. Oh, I see. Okay, so now I see somebody wants to be faithful. Somebody wants to be reliable. Somebody wants for you to depend on them. You can depend on me, Pisces. Oh, yeah? Mutual respect, unity, closeness. So there's somebody who's longing for the intimacy. They want that old thing back, or they want that intimacy that they missed, from you. But there's something about how this person only feels like that today, or they only feel like that in this time frame. It's kind of giving the vibe of somebody who's down and out, right? When people build a man or build a woman or build an individual up while they're down, it's like psychologically, again, disclaimer below, a person may only see you as being applicable or relevant in that time frame because that's how you presented yourself, right? Like if you build a woman or a man or a partner, whoever they are, LGBTQ plus, y'all are all, everybody's welcome here as long as you are objective, okay, and pragmatic. That's the only stipulation. If you have a partner, if you have a friend, somebody platonic, romantic, professional, whatever the circumstances are, and you accept that person at their worst and you don't challenge them to do better and you constantly forgive them when they, make mistakes, either by accident or on purpose, psychologically, at least from my experience and the conversations that I've had with therapists and psychologists evaluating my own life, they've told me that that person is only going to see you in that place. So once they elevate, once you build them up, once you pour everything you have into them and they elevate, they're going to leave your ass behind. Because they're like, oh, Pisces doesn't align with the new version of me that I've now created. And kind of mistakenly, but also accurately, it's a balancing act here. It's a mind fuck. They don't see you as worthy of being around them in the new version of themselves, but they also don't recognize that your energy is probably the energy that put their ass there, right? And that's where you gotta pay attention, bitch. That's where you gotta understand that you can't just pour everything you have into other people, and you also can't necessarily always take people as they are or take people where they're at. If you take them where they're at, that's fine, but you also have to understand what comes with that and how to move accordingly. So it kind of feels like somebody longs for you and wants you and needs you today, but will they long for you and want you and maybe not need you, but desire you tomorrow? Because you really don't want anybody to need you, because that's crazy. You heard Keisha K. Or anyway, you don't want people to just need you. You want people to desire you. I don't care what people say. You want people to want to be around you. You want people to want to spend time with you. You want people to want to be in your energy, not need you. Because that creates a level of codependency and instability that's toxic. So I feel that spirit is kind of like bringing into the forefront of your awareness this month a situation where you could have some fears about whether or not a person is being genuine with you because they need you. It's like you're not sure if you can take what they say seriously or if you have to just take it at face value, because wherever they are right now in their life, they may need you, but in the future, when they're in a place where they're more comfortable or where they're more self-sufficient, they may not need you anymore, and therefore the dynamics of that situation may change. And the sooner you see it, the sooner you can create a luxurious situation for yourself or a fulfilling situation for yourself that brings balance not only into their life, but into your life, right? So if you have children and they're graduating or they're growing up or they're getting older, there may be a shift in dynamics about how much they actually need you now that they're getting older, and you have to accept that. Okay. Some of you may be in a position where right now, you could be in a relationship where somebody wants children, but maybe you don't. And it could just be some type of energy that's flowing through the atmosphere. And you need to make sure that that's what you want. That's what they want. And you guys are on the same page, or if it could be just momentary. Okay. I don't think that there should be fear associated with this, but I also feel like there needs to be an awareness. That's what I feel like Spirit is trying to highlight for you this month. Or dynamics and situations where you may need to be more realistic about like how you view connections and how much you give to connections and what they actually mean in your life. Okay. Interesting. Let's see what else for Pisces, because I feel like this goes deeper than that. But anyway, 32, despair. That's a 5. It's some conflict. Scorpio got the same card. All right. Now, change, see? And then journey. Wow. So 9 to a 10. So there's some type of ending. I'm telling you, the sun is setting on these outdated cycles that have prevented you from making progress. And there could be people who are afraid of wherever you're going, or they're afraid of what you're about to accomplish, or they're afraid of the page that's turning in your life. I just read a book with my son talking about, I think it was called We're in a Book, and it was like an elephant and a pig, and they were in the book, and it literally was them realizing that we were reading the book and that they could make us say words, and like then they turned the page and they had this like looming anxiety that the book was going to end. And it was like this panic attack where they had to come up with a plan to make people come back and read the book again. And it was cute, but like, it's crazy. I could literally go tell them to get it and show it to you and show you the page is turning. And they're like, when does the book end? There was one page where they were like on page 45 or 46. And they were like, when does the book end? And the illustration showed them flipping the pages ahead to page 57. These numbers could be significant. And 57 was the last page of the book when it ended, and they were kind of having anxiety about when that page would get here. And I just used the analogy unexpectedly and kind of like randomly about that. And the fact that you're turning a page and somebody's afraid of you turning that page because they don't know what's on the other side, because it indicates that something is ending in the dynamics that you share. So you have to realize that there may only be a desire for this person to need you, or a desire for this person to connect with you and have this intimacy and loyalty and faithfulness in your life, because they know you're about to turn a page. This cycle is coming to an end. You may be moving, relocating, leaving town. Some of you guys could be going away to college next year or graduating. Some of you, this could be about your parents not letting you go. Some of you, this could be about, struggling to let go of your kids, or having a kid that doesn't want to leave home and who's still being a little codependent. It could be several different dynamics. It could be somebody who you've broken up with or divorced, and they just refuse to let go of their grip on you. And now it's like, that's done. There's a mode of transportation here to pick your ass up and take you to the next step. And there is nothing that anyone can do about it. And I feel like a lot of you guys are feeling other people's pain and kind of empathizing with other people, and knowing that it's causing people conflict when it comes to the decisions that you make about forward movement. But again, is that your problem? No, but you can be compassionate where it's applicable. You can be loving, and you can be understanding, and you can be empathetic where it's applicable. But you also, I feel, need to protect yourself, because I kind of feel like because a person is afraid that there's something that doesn't connect you anymore, kind of like children or property, or I guess a codependent need that you have for them, they're now afraid of how your life could blossom and how your life could develop, right? Again, I'm going to say this, cross watch at your own risk. Some of you could have a Pisces who won't let you go, that, is hanging on because they know you're going to do better once you leave. There's undeveloped and toxic traits to each sign, okay? I'm just saying, if you hear something positive for Pisces, don't come chewing me out, because it ain't me, boo. It ain't me. I'm just a messenger. And more than likely, if you're cross-watching because you're dealing with a Pisces, or you stop dealing with a Pisces, I might be actually talking about you along with the beautiful Pisces who watch me. Okay. Now, what else? Because this is crazy. hot and cold, which Cancer got as well. I feel like all the water signs need to watch water signs readings. We have unlikely in reverse. So somebody is trying to I knew it. Bait and switch at the bottom. False advertising, counterfeit. I'm adding the word fraudulent, fugazi, fake as fuck. Somebody could have an F initial. Flipping the script, meaning the representative facade. Ooh. Somebody don't want me to speak the truth, baby, but baby, do you know me? Those of y'all who know me know it's not gonna work. It won't work. No weapon formed against me shall prosper. It won't work. Because I'm always drinking my water on deck. Interesting. Now, what I was going to say before I confirmed my intuition with the bottom of the deck is that somebody is trying to convince you that it's very unlikely for them to flip on you again or be wishy-washy, or it's very unlikely for you not to be able to trust them because they're done. They're finished. Their old ways are over. And they're not going to, stab you in the back, double crossed. They're not going to do that. They changed. They're different. They're evolved. They're born again Christians. They don't went to church and got baptized. Okay, that's what they're trying to convince you of. It says wishy-washy, temperamental, flaky, another F word, aloof, detached, inconsistent. They're trying to say, oh, it's not really likely that I'm going to be like that, but Spirit is telling you, oh, it's very likely, bitch. It's very likely, my love. It's very likely, my child. It sure is. Because as soon as you don't have the connecting factor that keeps you connected to this person in the picture, they're going to be gone, right? So I don't know if it's kids. I don't know if it's like property. I don't know what it is, but there's a fear that someone has about the day that whatever connects you no longer connects you. Especially if this is like a trauma bond or something. They're afraid of you healing. They're afraid of you moving forward. They're afraid of you reaching your destination or setting sail on your destination that you're really meant to be in because they're afraid of what's going to happen when they are alone and they don't have anybody to wallow in misery with them. They're afraid that they won't have any company here in this dark place. But guess what? That's called the dark night of the soul. And that's what all of us have to go through in order to elevate and ascend to the truest version of ourselves. And that's not your job to handhold this motherfucker through the dark night of the soul. They got to walk through the shadow of the valley of death by themselves. They came out their mama's cooter or stomach by themselves. They're going to die by themselves. They can't expect you to constantly walk through life doing everything with them because you are on your own path. And what this change card indicates is that a lot of you guys are possibly moving, relocating, or this is just a spiritual change where you can't bring a whole lot of stuff with you. This card is not that big. They cannot bring all this stuff with them. And he's out there deciding like, damn, how I'm going to pack this bitch? Because all these suitcases ain't going to fit. And I think a lot of you guys were gathering your things, either energetically, metaphorically, or literally, and figuring out what you were going to leave behind versus what was important for you to take with you. And the journey card is saying like, hey, you arrived. There's some suitcases there, but it definitely is not both cards are kind of the same because you don't know if the journey card is somebody coming or going. It could be either. But it kind of feels like it's the same imagery. You have the suitcases, you have the mode of transportation, and you have the contemplation or the person standing there trying to figure out what's going on. Right? This is also a symbol or a level of symbolism that shows you that you're at the end of a journey and it's about to be completed and there's going to be a new start. And whoever this person is here helping you load your stuff up, which is more than likely somebody in your spirit team or maybe a good friend, somebody who's got your back, they are, helping you figure out what's going on, or you're doing it yourself. What you don't see is that the reason why you can't take this shit with you is because whoever's picking you up from the train station got this already waiting. You don't need this. You don't need them old drawers with the holes in them, because you're gonna have enough money to buy you some new drawers when you get there. Okay? You don't need them old holy socks, because you're gonna buy some new socks when you get there. You don't need them old raggedy rusty pots and pans, because you're gonna buy a whole new set of cutlery and pots and pans when you get there. Okay? So Spirit is saying, hey, listen, you better stop. Listen, I can't tell you what you better do, because I be having a problem with that. I be wanting to tell folks what they better do, what they got to do, what they need to do. That ain't my job. I ain't your mama. But I'm just letting you know that it will behoove you to look at the situation from that perspective and understand whatever you're being rejected from, whatever you're being shut out from, whatever you're not getting access to at this time is because there's another version of it waiting for you that's more upgraded and better suited to you on the other side. All right? You don't have to take these raggedy leftovers. Nope. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with leftovers, because I eat them hoes all the time. But what I'm saying is you got to have a mindset that allows you to say, hey, today is a day where I don't drag baggage with me that I don't need. Okay. Now we have reevaluate, because this is a situation that Spirit wants you to reevaluate. They're telling you that this person is baiting and switching you. They're baiting and switching you by saying it's unlikely for them to switch up. It is very likely for them to switch up. And Spirit wants you to reevaluate or revalue it. Appraisal, okay, comes to mind. They want you to reevaluate how much value this person brings to your life and why you feel like you need to keep them around. Or why you feel like it's such the end of the world for something between you and the dynamic to change. There may be a benefit to getting rejected. There may be a benefit to the door being shut on you. There may be some type of benefit that you don't see that could involve more people than just you as to why you're going through what you're going through right now. And this is not so much to beat you up, but this is just motivation for you to understand, like, this is what's going on. Because something is not connecting you to this person. It's like either, like, maybe this is somebody who you had kids with. Baby mom, baby dad, ex-husband, ex-wife, current husband, current wife. Hell. And they're saying, hey, y'all ain't got no kids. You can cut ties easily and have more of what you want and live a life that's more in alignment with what you deserve. But what are you afraid of? This could be a situation where you did have kids, but them little suckers is grown. What are you afraid of? Right? It's like, come on. We got to think about these things. These are important questions. Okay? What is the message for Pisces Spirit? Yeah, 10 of Wands. Stressed, burdened. This could be about work. Struggling to find work. Not being able to find employment is difficult right now because everybody's looking. Okay? Everybody's kind of going through some things. I feel like this could also be a Sagittarius for some of you guys, depending on the situation. But I feel like there's just this stress. It's like it's stressful because you're possibly trying to force something to fit where it doesn't fit, or trying to force yourself to fit in when you don't fit in, and you just have to accept that you don't fit in and you just different, and you just listen. This lady is lighting a fucking cigarette with her birthday candles, and you can tell by her attire. She gotta look like a furry, fluffy coat on. She got some extravagant jewelry. She got some different type of glasses on. This don't look like a regular old lady. Like, she does not look like a woman in her mature age, at her big old age, who would be acting like this, right? But that's not necessarily a bad thing. It kind of feels like people have tried to ostracize you and make you feel like being different was wrong. But today is the day where Spirit says, stop. Because that shit is not the truth. It's a lie. It's a fallacy that people have tried to convince you is true, that's not actually true. And you trying to avoid that truth that you're different, or you trying to move away from what makes you unique or individual is what's hurting you. It's what's causing you a problem. People for years have been telling me on my different platforms that I need to stop cussing. Somebody put it in the comments. I blocked their ass. Sure did. Blocked them right on off the channel. Because the other day in one of the shorts that I released, they said, language, please. Bitch, fuck you and your language. Okay? I blocked you. And guess what they do, Pisces? They come back under an alias or under a different profile because they know that I'm the motherfucking truth. And they know that when I say something, I might not always be 100% on point. I know that. I don't know everything. I'm glad I don't know everything because that would be too stressful. But there's enough that I know that makes people who feel like they need these readings come back even when their attitude is fucked up and they get blocked. People do it all the time. You notice it in your social media when you block people and they come on some random profile of somebody viewing your stories that you ain't never seen before. Who is this? You get what I'm saying? That's the same thing. That's the energy of the situation. And it's like, once you finally accept the fact that, hey, I'm a different type of person. I'm a different bitch. It just is what it is. And I don't say that. I know that I don't say the B word in a derogatory way to myself. People get offended by all this little stuff. I'm just not that person. I'm not going to get offended by it. Whatever it is that you do that makes you you and that makes you different, Spirit is saying, embrace it. It more than likely is something that you were scared out of doing, or a way of your personality that you were scared out of exhibiting when you were a child. Because people gawked at you and pointed fingers at you and laughed at you because you were different. But they're telling you right now that that is the key to bringing this luxury into your life, to having this wealth, to having this safety, to having this security, to having this upgraded, elevated experience, to finally getting close to the people who do mutually respect you, who you do have unity and camaraderie with, who you can get close to and not be afraid that they're going to betray you. That's the key. So I'm just saying, Lovers, Gemini energy, and the Six of Cups. So this is a choice that you made in the past that more than likely is stressing you out now because it wasn't a true representation of what you wanted. It was probably a choice that you made that was based on what other people thought or whatever other people suggested that you do. And you might have to go back and evaluate that. This could also be Gemini as well, Sagittarius. Let's see. What's the Ten of Wands for Pisces? Ooh, the Nine of Swords. Fear. A lot of fear, you guys. And it doesn't necessarily have to be all your fear. I go back to what I said earlier, which I feel is still true and remains true or will remain true this month. It's like, don't let other people scare you out of doing something that you know is right for you. Because sometimes we need help understanding ourselves, right? And not everybody who tells us something about ourselves or reflects upon who we are after observing us is bad. There could be people who be like, wow, Pisces, this fucking cake that you just baked is delicious. Why don't you have your own shop? Why don't you have your own business? I would literally be in there once a week or more buying up everything that you got. And those are the people who it's like, oh, wow, they're telling you something that actually is true about you because they have an enlightened perspective and, you know, they're looking at you from a positive viewpoint and they're not predatory towards you. And they're just highlighting something about yourself that you may have noticed, but not really paid attention to, or that you may have known about yourself that you were a little insecure or afraid to actually believe could be true. And those are good recommendations of things that you can take from other people that you may actually be supposed to do. But there are times where there are people who are afraid of losing us, where we don't allow ourselves to really execute the full extent of who we are or really showcase the full extent of who we are because their fear is being projected onto us about what would happen if we do so, right? And they may tell us to do things that are in their best interest, but not in our best interest, okay? So it feels like there could be a Gemini, specifically possibly a Sagittarius or someone else exuding those energies that is really anxious and stressed and burdened by what your life may look like in the future and the fact that it won't include them. Okay. We have the Sun card here, possibly Leo too. Empress, Taurus, Libra, maybe Virgo. Yeah. So Leo, Taurus, Libra, Virgo, possibly Gemini. And I keep wanting to say Sagittarius. So fuck it. Okay. I feel like you're realizing as well how much fear that you've had when it comes to going with your own flow, being who it is that you are, showcasing what makes you you. Okay. There could have been somebody who tried to scare you out of having children, but actually being a mother is something that you feel would make you really happy. Right? So do it. It doesn't have to specifically be that, but it could be a situation either way. Maybe somebody wanted you to have kids and you really don't. Okay. And you're happy being on your own and you don't want to deal with the stress and anxiety of children. And that's your final decision. But they want to convince you that you think something else when you really don't. And it could be anything in your life where someone is trying to make their feelings be your feelings and confuse you about how you really feel and about what you really want to do. When you on the inside already know how you really feel and you already know what you really want to do. And you just have to be brave enough to do it. Okay. I feel like somebody's really afraid of your glow up, to be honest with you. They are terrified of your glow up. And I feel that. Okay. What's the 10 of Wands? One more card. The Queen of Pentacles. Yeah. This is like the younger version or maybe even the more naive version of the Empress. You know? The less developed version of the Empress. This could be about developing when you were a child, like breasts, you know, things like that. Your kid could be developing. It's like, hey, you're not a kid anymore. You're starting to grow hair under your pits. That's a lot. That's a lot. Okay. But yeah, you could be fearful of your child because they're very developed. And they're still young. And you're just kind of like, ooh. You're just kind of like, damn. Trying to protect your child, but you hard-headed. You know what I mean? It's kind of like that energy. And it doesn't have to just be with a child. But it kind of feels like somebody is developing into what they're meant to really be. Or they're developing into a woman. Developing into a man. Developing into the full version of who they are, and it's causing somebody a lot of stress and anxiety and you know, feeling burdened, and because of that fear, trying to force whoever is developing back into where they were, back to who they used to be, or back into the box that they just came out of. And it's like, no, bitch, can't do that. It's kind of crazy. 8 of Wands. And the 6 of Wands. Wow. Something is moving really quickly. There could be communication coming in that enlightens you to your value in a situation, or there could be some type of forward progress, some type of quick movement, a lot of communication, maybe even spiritual communication. Something could be exploding because this is a volcano as well. And then the fire is in the microphone. So this could be in your voice. This could be in your like singing. If you're a singer, this could be a performer. Some of you guys could just be very popular, getting a lot of attention. Doesn't have to be publicly. It could just be, you know, in your own respective arenas, wherever you are. This could be at work, professionally, because of the Queen of Pentacles. But yeah, I feel like there was a group of people who didn't want you to feel welcomed, or they didn't want you to embrace your authenticity. And now you're finding a place or people who do. And those people who rejected you want to put you back into the box because that benefits them. Like, no, bitch. Sorry. These people over here actually appreciate me. These people over here really want to be my friend. I'm not saying that you're a bad person for not understanding that, but I'm saying that I'm not going to keep dealing with it. So good day and goodbye. Okay? That's kind of like the energy that I feel like you're projecting out. And there are people who are sensitive, insecure, angry about it, possibly even. Okay. I feel like you're making a decision that benefits you with this Queen of Pentacles. Whatever decision that you're making is rather economical. So it makes good sense. It may make good money sense as well. I feel like you're speaking to yourself, or you're speaking about yourself to other people from a place of more value. So it's like you're not downgrading or, down talking yourself. You're not, telling self-deprecating jokes. It's like you're just speaking highly of yourself, internally and outwardly to other people. And I feel like that's making a difference as well. You're getting people's attention because of how you're communicating and the decisions that you're making, or the words literally that you're choosing to use to speak. Also the actions that you're taking, because a lot of times I feel like Pisces, we consult with other people about what we're going. Oh, I think I'm going to do this. What do you think about this? No, bitch. Now you're just doing it. And people are like, wow, I see everything that you're doing. Wow. I never thought that you could be this talented. Wow. I never thought that you could reach this level. And it's kind of like, yeah, that could be true, because maybe you guys were consulting with people a little bit too much. It could also be true that those people did know that you could reach that level, but they didn't want to give you fucking credit for it. And your actions are a big middle finger to all of their asses who didn't want to believe in you or support you. Right? Nobody's going to support you when you're at the bottom. There will be some people who do. Let me not say that. There will be some people who support you when you're at the bottom, but it's not going to be as many of the people who try to support you while you're at the top. Right? And it is important to take note of the people who support you at the bottom, because those are the ones who are actually loyal. Right? People come around every day talking about how much of the truth I am. Right? And people come and go, and that's fine. But like, there's a strong need, I feel, that Spirit is wanting to express to you guys through the metaphors that I'm picking up on and the images that they're giving me, of like you needing to be the biggest cheerleader that you have and believe in yourself more than anyone else, because that's what's actually going to matter when the going gets tough. But I do feel like there is like physically you can pick up on it. You can feel it. There's a discernible shift through maybe even the feedback that you're getting, or like something that you can physically see blowing up or speeding up or moving forward, that grabs your attention to know like, yeah, I am worth this. Yeah, I do deserve this. Yeah, I did work hard. It's like that type of energy. And there could specifically like be something that happened in Leo season that changed, or specifically dealing with a Leo, Taurus, Virgo, Libra, Gemini, Sagittarius, that could have caused a change in the situation. I'm just looking back. Y'all be sure to like the video, you guys. I'm just looking at the cards, thinking back on all the stuff, just to make sure I didn't miss anything for you guys. Okay, just bear with me for a second, child. Oh, there's a baby crying outside. What was the card that was at the bottom of the deck with that 10 of Wands? I can't remember. I know the 6 of Cups, I believe, was at the back of the deck. Was it the Empress? No. That was at the back of the deck with the 9 of Swords. What was at the bottom of the deck? Y'all can run it back, but I can't. It just is what it is. Like the video, you guys. Like the video. Once I see it, I'll know what it was, but I kind of don't remember what it was. Interesting. Maybe I'm not supposed to. Oh yeah, it was the Lovers. Yeah. That's what it was. Yeah, so that's why choices have been really difficult. It's like a need for validation, but know. It kind of doesn't feel like that's what it is, but it kind of does feel like that's part of it. You know, I think it's natural for us to desire to be validated or recognized by our peers because it's tribal, right? So there is a level of this where I feel like you maybe try to fit in because that need for validation is something that's like ingrained within you. But I don't necessarily feel like you guys seek validation outside of you because that's just something that you crave. I feel like it's something that you kind of like, oh, of course, like we all need water to survive. Like we all need sustenance to sustain us and stay alive, right? You got to eat or else eventually there's going to be a breakdown somewhere because the lack of nutrients will eventually build up to create a problem, right? That's how I feel when I think about the need for validation that I'm getting from kind of the cards and the message. It's like you maybe were seeking out the validation a little bit too much, or you felt the need for validation because it was so depleted in your life. Like there were so many times from the course of you being born to when you're watching this reading now to where you were kind of starved of outer validation. Like every situation, like that's what I was saying earlier about the sun setting on that. It's like there's a time in your life that's coming to a close or that has already come to a close and you're about to experience the new beginning where you were kind of just starved all the time for, you know, things that tribally and kind of intrinsically people need to survive. And it's not fair because I feel like a lot of you were in situations where it was purposefully done to starve you, right? It could be literal, it could be metaphorical, but I feel like now that's over with because I feel like something is happening that's really positive that shows you how starved you actually were, right? It's weird. It's like Stockholm syndrome. Like you didn't know that people around you were really like draining you and depleting you of everything you had until you actually drink some fucking water and realize how thirsty you were. Wow. Okay. So what's hidden? 10 of Pentacles, this money. You got a big opportunity coming up and your ancestors who are supporting you and helping you get to this point of luxury, this point of cornucopia. Yeah, those people are hidden as well. Those energies are hidden. You don't see them, but they're helping you in the background. Also, I'm getting fruit of the loom with this cornucopia. I feel like some of you guys really do need some new underwear. I understand. All right. Just throw out the ones that got holes in them. If you got one pair of underwear and you just got to keep washing them out every day, wear them bitches till they get holes in them. And I guarantee you the new ones gonna come either before those get holes in it or right when they do. Some of y'all need some underwear. Okay. Just buy you some underwear. I understand things are really expensive. I feel like this is a part of what's hidden as well. You could be starving yourself of what you need because you're like, oh my God, it's too expensive. Oh my God, it costs too much. But if you really wanted to do it, you would make time for it or you would allot finances for it. I'm just being real, right? Like if you really wanted to brush your teeth every day, you would make sure you have a toothbrush and toothpaste and brush your damn teeth. People who want to smell fresh, make a point to take a shower. And you can tell the people who don't because they be funky. All right. So I feel like what's hidden is that Spirit is trying to remind you, you actually have a choice. Even in situations that appear like you don't have a choice, you do have a choice and you have support around you that's helping bring you to the choice that will be most fulfilling for you. Okay. The 6 of Cups and the 10 of Swords. Wow. 2 tens. Yeah. There's definitely something from your past that's done. Could be childhood as well. You could be cutting ties completely with family members or, you know, people from your past, siblings, people you have children with. You are just completely cutting folks off because it's like, it's unavoidable. You can't ignore the betrayals anymore. You can't sugarcoat the backstabbing energy. You can't deny the lies. It's just unavoidable. You just can't do it. And it's like, I respect you more if you tell me to my face that you don't fuck with me. You get what I'm saying? That's how I feel about everybody who watches me on social media. I would respect you more if you just came straight up to my face instead of hiding behind a keyboard and just tell me that you don't fuck with me. Because I got plenty of people who say they do and their actions back it up. But there's a lot of people who like to tiptoe and they don't like to name. Listen, I name names. If I have a name to name, I name it. Because at the end of the day, it's not going to help me or you if I don't. So I feel like you got a lot of people, or there's a lot of connections and situations in your life that are now expired where people have thrown a lot of subliminal shots. They've betrayed you under the guise of trying to look out for you and trying to support you when you know damn well the motherfuckers was only looking out for themselves. And you can't deny it anymore. That's the only place where I feel like a lot of y'all fucked up, was that you tried to deny it and you tried to cover it up and you tried to sugarcoat it for way too long. And that is what, that's what held you back. And that's what you didn't want to face or realize, but now you are. Okay. I feel like some of you guys are going to have deja vu of a lot of good things that are happening in your life, or some type of like premonitions about a lot of good things that are happening in your life, but they're going to be coupled with a lot of pain and negativity, right? I feel like that's how your life has gone since you were a child. It's like, it's been really beautiful and you've had a lot of blessed experiences that have been accompanied with a bunch of fucking shit, right? I had a beautiful childhood. I remember going to the air show in Chicago on the beach with my mom. Taste of Chicago. Beautiful. Good food. Delicious. My favorite activities. One of them, eating. Okay. I remember going to the air shows. Right. And, seeing the planes fly by and like having those beautiful memories that are like glistening in my mind. Going to Buckingham Fountain. Watching the fireworks in front of Buckingham Fountain, riding through the city and seeing the skyline through the window of my mom's car as I'm in the back seat and she's driving. Remembering her looking back at me after we go through the McDonald's drive-through and being excited that she finally let me get some McDonald's, child. She finally had some McDonald's money. Okay? Going to Japan when I was really young and seeing a bunch of stuff that really like was super like psychedelic when it comes to how it felt connected to me. Being in choir, getting to sing and do something that I really love. Having good friends and doing things with people that I may not have been able to do had it not been for their parents' generosity and kindness. Being included. Having really good relationships with people. But then also having it be kind of overshadowed by my mom dying. Being cut off from those good friends. Being cut off from that sense of security and stability. Then going to a place and, coming to a place where I got bullied all the time, where I felt like nobody was my friend, where I didn't feel the support and the love that my mom gave me from my family. And literally feeling like I died. And it's like, damn, when I look back on it, it's kind of like to have all of that beauty. And even like during my childhood, there were difficult things that I had to deal with on top of like the big whammy of her dying and passing away and not being there. Like the beautiful things that I got to experience in that time and everything that was kind of like encapsulated in my childhood, for it to be that wonderful and for it to, majority of it be such a beautiful experience and such a magical, it felt magical. My childhood felt magical. I am a child of Disney, like thinking back on everything that I got to experience in my childhood that even now my kids don't get to experience. And like the way things have changed so much for these kids these days. It was a magical fucking time growing up in the 90s and the early 2000s. It was like a time capsule and I lived it. And it kind of feels like all of that and the beauty that came from it, there had to be a sacrifice. There had to be a sacrifice in order for me to experience that beauty and that joy on such a level to where I could articulate it to you now. And unfortunately, the reality of some situations is that, that's what comes with it. But what you have to maintain balance over and control over as much as possible with your actions, which is all you can control, is the fact that that sacrifice does not have to perpetuate in perpetuity. It does not have to continue forever. I feel like a lot of you guys became accustomed to suffering, and you allowed people to victimize you. You allowed yourself to be a victim, and you gave your power away because you were in a very formidable place in your life and in your growth where you rationalized good things happening to you and how they're connected to horrible things. And that's what I feel like the sun is setting on in your life. I just went into a tunnel, child. I just went into a space. Hangman, okay. This is looking at things from a different perspective. This is being stuck. But this is also sometimes being chastised, bullied, trapped, targeted, embarrassed publicly. And it can be looking at things from a different perspective. So it kind of feels like you are putting to rest a part of yourself that has been stuck for a really long time on anything that you guys have been stuck on. Okay. The Hermit is here, Virgo energy, and the Five of Swords. Some of you may have a Virgo who you're finding out is not as supportive as you may have thought they were, or you could be discovering, people, places, and things that have kept you stuck. You may be exhibiting a lot of your opposite energy, which is Virgo. That's what this could be. And you're like, wow, this actually hurt me. Wow, I'm starting to realize that this actually wasn't in my best interest. Wow, I need to switch this up. And I feel like the information is coming in. I also feel like someone else is finding out how trapped you've been in a situation mentally, and how they may have played a role somehow in keeping you stuck in that position. I feel like some of you guys are going to find out somebody's been betraying you for a really long time, and you thought they were looking out for you. Kind of like Selena. Yeah. With that lady. I almost said Sandoval, but her name was like Saldivar or something like that. I don't know what that lady's name was who took Selena out. But I know Sandoval was, I believe, I might have butchered his name, but he was on Vanderpump Rules. And he was the guy who the Love Island host was married to. And I used to watch Vanderpump Rules when I was in high school or something. Or maybe when I was grown. When I first had my kids and I still had cable. Salazar? I don't know what the lady who took Selena out is, but her name sounds like it. Well, it's similar to Sandoval. Like it's Sand. Interesting. I'm also getting Dune. There was some sabotage in that movie too. Wow. Somebody may have put you in a position just for you to be the one to take the fall. Okay. You may be finding out about that this month. Yeah, it's like finding out who set you up. And it might be your family. And the people who passed on in your family are wanting you to understand why, or they're wanting you to understand who the culprit is so that you can move on and not feel guilty about it. It's like they're showing you who betrayed you. They're showing you who stabbed you in the back, like that Ten of Swords, so that you can see who it was and like not feel guilty about moving forward from that energy. Anyway, okay. This reading has taken a long time. Sorry, guys. What's the advice? Page of Pentacles. Good news is coming in. They want you to know. Focus on the positive. Good news is coming in. There's a good sign that you are going to receive about the potential of the future. Okay. This could even be good news about your child. Okay. Four of Pentacles. And the Three of Pentacles. This is all about like work, money, finances, investments that you've made, hard work that you put in, rituals that you practice or participate in. Seeing what you've built, seeing the progress that you've made, and seeing like even the setbacks as something positive. Wow, Ace of Pentacles. Man, some of y'all have good news coming in about an opportunity or about money. But I feel like you're going to have to get out of a comfort zone. Yeah, Knight of Swords, Six of Wands. Look at that. There's definitely, we saw the Eight of Wands with the Six of Wands earlier. There's definitely communication about an opportunity. And it's in regards to you being recognized for something you said or something you did, action you took. This could be somebody's, like a spotlight. You know how newspapers or news programs put a spotlight on someone in the community? It feels like that. I also feel like someone's telling you about an opportunity that could make you very successful. You could be seeing an advertisement for a job or putting an application in for a job, and it's coming to the forefront of your attention or awareness so that you can say something about it or so that you can apply for the job or whatever this is. It's like you're starting to finally pay attention to what you've been focusing on that's been bringing lack into your life or causing you some type of insecurities so that you can kind of recognize it and then work on it moving forward, right? It's not like it's going to be solved overnight. It feels like this is a gradual, progressive improvement that you're making each day. Like today, every single day. See, that's what goes back to the beginning. You got to go back to the beginning to move forward, some of you, okay? To figure out where this all started so that you can understand why it's still affecting you now. But every day there's like this gradual blossoming that I feel that you guys are having. And the further and further you get away from how you used to be, the more scared somebody is. They are terrified, I'm telling you. They keep wanting me to say that. What else does Pisces need to know, child? Almost knocked that deck over again. The Ring, a really good opportunity is coming your way. Also, you may be getting a proposal. This could be marriage or business contractual. So there's an opportunity coming in that I feel like has the potential. It's a job, I feel like, or it's some type of work that you're going to be doing that has the potential to make you really successful. But it's all going to be about how you balance it, how you maintain it, how you view it, how you look at it, because it may not look like an opportunity at first. It may look like something scary. It may look like something that you're afraid of, but it's a trick. It's not actually something you should be afraid of. It's just something that's going to challenge you to get out of a comfort zone. Okay. We have speechless. Someone is at a loss for words. Okay. And mean man, this could be a mean-spirited or angry male. All right. Who's speechless about an opportunity that you're getting. They're shocked. They're surprised. They can't believe that you're getting this opportunity. What is this ring? Ooh, the Ace of Cups. This could be even a relationship for some of y'all, but it could just be something that you're really passionate about. Something that requires an emotional, unique flair. Something that you really love to do. It doesn't have to be a person, but Ace of Pentacles, Ace of Cups. Could be love. Or an opportunity you love. Yeah, but that Five of Pentacles is there. That insecurity. You feel like you can't do it. Or you feel like you lack something. Or you're like, why would they love me? Why would they want to date me? Why would they want to talk to me? Why would they want to hire me? Like, cut that shit the fuck out before I reach to this screen and slap your ass. Yeah, I said it. Oh, no. I said it. Hierophant. Taurus, Libra, strong Taurus energy. Could be a Taurus, could be Taurus season that you're being prepared for now. This could be a smaller opportunity with the Page of Pentacles happening now that's preparing you for an even bigger opportunity in Taurus season. Okay? You may not have the material wealth to back up your wisdom or to back up your experiences, but you have the knowledge. That's what matters. You may not have the followers, you may not have the subscribers, you may not have the likes or the comments or, you know, all of the clout that makes people think that folks are smart, but you actually have the wisdom. So remember that shit. Because a lot of these folks out here who have blown up and who have a large following, not all of them, but there's a great deal who are out here who don't know their ass from their mouth. Okay? So don't let any of those factors intimidate you. I feel like Spirit is bringing you an opportunity that's going to help you, but you have to overcome your fear and get out of your comfort zone in order to take it. And if you don't, you know, you may regret it. And I feel like there's someone here who may be trying to push you towards being afraid of this opportunity, either their ghostly way, meaning the ghost of their presence in your life and what they've said to you before, even if they're not around anymore, could be scaring you out of this opportunity, or just their energy projection towards you could be trying to scare you out of this opportunity. And Spirit is like trying to send me to your doorstep to, you know, clock you in the head and tell you should have had a V8. Okay? Child. What's the advice? You know what? This card is upside down. Oh, rebirth. Flipped over in the deck. Didn't even know it. Well, didn't Future make a song? They don't even know it or something like that. Down, 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 down. Something like that. They don't even know it. Something like, I don't know. Rebirth. Every end is a new beginning. God, Phoenix rising from the ashes. Reincarnated. Okay, listen. Comparison. Embrace others' differences. Accept your own imperfections. See what I'm saying? I'm not perfect, y'all. It might seem because you're resonating with this reading that I know everything. I fucking don't. I am healing. I am not healed. Duh. I don't know everything. I want to keep learning. I want to keep improving. I want to keep getting better. And so should you. But it doesn't mean that you should treat yourself as if you don't have some type of experience. Okay? So don't compare yourself to other people. This is your journey. This is your new beginning. Okay? Do it the way that you feel like you need it to be done. Inspiration says inspiration is everywhere. Capture your... Ooh. See? Just as quick as I was about to drop that fucking card, your idea will float away. Write that bitch down. I said what I said. Love you, Pisces. Like and subscribe to continue to catch the vibe. Be sure to go check out my other Pisces channel if you did not know about it. The link tree has all of my channels below. Also, if you guys found a benefit in this reading that you want to go above and beyond, please consider donating through PayPal, Venmo, or Zelle. I would really appreciate it. It's super helpful. I love you guys and I appreciate all of your support. Book your readings or any other of my services. If you click the link below, you'll find those as well. Leave me a comment. Let me know if it resonated, you guys. Like and subscribe to continue to catch the vibe. And enjoy the rest of your day. I will see you next time. Bye.